Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you, Secretary Ben Jokno. Uh, all the members of the cabinet who are here with us today. Uh, Coming home, accompanying us was, of course, our former president and now majority floor leader, President GMA, and the Speaker of the House, Speaker Martin Romualdez, the Executive Secretary, Chief Luke, who is, and of course, our ever-present welcoming committee, Pasay City Mayor Imelda Calixto Rubiano, the AFP Chief of Staff General Andy Centino, Major Service Commanders, the Philippine Coast Guard Commandant Admiral Abu, and the best dressed one of the best dressed at the coronation of King Charles, our First Lady Lisa Marcos. Fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am happy to report on the outcomes of the Philippines' participation in the 42nd summit held in Labuan Bajo, Indonesia, on the 10th of May to the 11th, 2023. During our meeting with the ASEAN leaders, I emphasized the importance of upholding the international rules-based system which has underpinned regional security, peace, and order in our region. I expressed our commitment to the principles of free trade and the multilateral trading system, called for enhanced support for nano businesses, MSMEs, and their integration into the global economy. We will continue to work towards long-term food and energy security and to address the impacts of climate change, amongst other things. The Philippines expressed support for the community-building efforts of ASEAN, including the strengthening of ASEAN's institutions. The leaders also discussed regional and international developments. During the discussions on the situation in Myanmar, I called for Myanmar to adhere to the 5-point consensus and express support for Indonesia's enhanced initiatives in the implementation of the 5-point consensus. We also came to an agreement that we would adjust our approach on the situation in Myanmar and to try to engage Myanmar at every level and to all the political factions that are active and are involved in that crisis situation in Myanmar. We came to this conclusion simply because we say what we have done. We have laid out the 5 points of consensus and we put it forward to Myanmar, but it has been 2 years and there has been no movement. And we decided we must try, we must do it another way. And there are many members who have experience in these long ongoing political negotiations, and the advice is to engage everyone equally. And that is what we intend to do. I, of course, expressed our deep concern regarding the humanitarian crisis and the continued economic impacts of the Russia-Ukraine war. This contributes to global food and energy insecurity. On the South China Sea, I reaffirmed the Philippine commitment to the peaceful resolution of disputes and advocated for a rules-based maritime order anchored on 1982 UNCLOS. On Timor-Leste, I conveyed that ASEAN should support Timor-Leste in its efforts towards full ASEAN membership, which we regard as just as a matter of time, as they had come to this summit as an observer status. I participated in leaders' interfaces with the ASEAN leaders, with the ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly, and the representatives from the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, the ASEAN Youth, and the high-level task force on the ASEAN Community Post-2025 Vision. This task force has been given the job of charting the roadmap until 2025 for the transformation of the regional economy and the parts that each country will play in that resurgence. I encourage also our ASEAN external partners to increase their levels of engagement in the BIMP-IAGA, which is a joint aggregation of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, and to support its role, the BIMP-IAGA's role, as a major catalyst in galvanizing economic development and enhancing connectivity in this vibrant sub-region. I once again thank our host, Indonesian President Joko Widodo, for extending such hospitality to our delegation. I look forward to continue working with the chair, Indonesia, and other ASEAN member states, as well as ASEAN's external partners for the 43rd ASEAN Summit and related summits, which will happen in September of 2023 in Jakarta. We will meet to advance our shared goals for a peaceful, secure, and more prosperous region. I believe that the summit was a success in that it charted the new directions that were initiated by the chairman, President Widodo, and with the concurrence of all the member states. And many new ideas were ventilated, and many of those were adopted. And we will see, hopefully see some progress on the political front and certainly on the economic front. Thank you very much and good afternoon.